Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a f***ing con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician.
The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy.
Gavin Newsom might be feeling the heat, and not just from the spotlight. One of his own Hollywood allies, Bill Maher, just accidentally peeled back the curtain on the carefully scripted image Newsom has worked hard to maintain. What was meant to be casual turned into a revealing moment, exposing the polished PR show for what it really is. Next voice, next voice. Now the polished image is slipping. Fast. Bill Maher didn't attack Newsom outright, but even a small slip exposed more than expected. Suddenly, the carefully crafted persona started to unravel on national TV.
I was on KBLA yesterday, with my friend Tavis Smiley. I'm an investor and a supporter of that station. And he said, who do you want for running president? I mentioned, I think you'd be good at the job. Not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state. I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but he doesn't think you can win. What do you say to that if you could win look at the swing states. There's only 8.
Joe Rogan, never one to hold back, called out what many see: rising crime, homelessness, and businesses fleeing California. His words echoed a growing public frustration. That viral moment wasn't just media chatter. It hit hard, and Newsom's PR spin couldn't contain it. While some still float the idea of a future presidential run, the cracks are getting harder to ignore, and fewer people are buying the image.
Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a f***ing con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want president.
Millions of Americans are no longer buying the Gavin Newsom hype. To many, he's not just out of touch. He's in his own political bubble. This is the same governor who prioritized gender-neutral toy aisles as if that were a top state issue. But what really pushed people over the edge were policies that appeared to sideline parents on serious matters, like children's transitions. That's not progress. That's a breach of trust. Then came the unexpected cracks in his image. Bill Maher, unintentionally, peeled back the glossy PR layer. And Joe Rogan? He didn't hold back. Rogan called out the homelessness crisis, the rising crime, and the exodus of businesses from California. His message was blunt. You wrecked California, and now you want a promotion?
Rescind this order. It's illegal and unconstitutional. And I said it. I'll say it again. It's immoral. You're creating the conditions that you claim you're solving, and you're not. And you're putting real people's lives at risk. This is a serious moment, and it requires serious leadership. And it's time for you to be a commander-in-chief of the United States of America. And I will have your back if you want to work in a relationship of trust and truth in the spirit of our founding fathers. But you come after poor kids, you come after families, we will do everything in our power to stand up and stand in your way.
Joe Rogan blew the doors off. When two influential voices, Bill Maher and Rogan, from opposite sides of the political spectrum both call you out, that's not coincidence. That's a warning sign. And Gavin Newsom knew it. This wasn't a simple PR misstep. It was a full-on political unraveling. Newsom looked rattled, and it showed. So what did he do? He rushed into the spotlight, suddenly addressing the chaos in Los Angeles, the same issues he'd been accused of ignoring for months. But this wasn't leadership. It was damage control. The turning point? The backlash following a heated ICE protest. Instead of offering calm or clarity, Newsom went straight to the usual playbook. Blame Trump. He leaned into dramatic language, framing ICE actions as attacks on innocent families. No strategy, no solutions, just headlines. Rather than lead, he performed. He took a complex issue and turned it into a viral moment. Emotion over facts, optics over outcomes. And while the cameras rolled, he leaned hard into outrage, casting himself as the moral voice in a script of his own making.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
Behind the scenes, Newsom's panic was obvious. His sudden spotlight moment wasn't leadership. It was damage control. In a desperate move, he even dared former ICE Director Tom Homan to arrest him. But it wasn't bravery, it was a stunt. Newsom wasn't fixing anything. He was chasing headlines. His fake defiance was just theater, and Homan called him out for it, slamming the governor for caring more about viral clips than doing his job.
Governor Newsom or Mayor Bass be arrested, I said, well, no one's above the law. If they cross the line and commit a crime, absolutely they can. So there was no discussion about arresting Newsom. And so, you know, what he's done, he's failed that state. He waited 2 days of that city burning and people getting hurt, officers being assaulted before he made any declaration of an unlawful assembly. He's late to the game. President Trump isn't late to the game.
Tom Homan didn't hold back. He called Gavin Newsom's tough guy act what it was, a fake stunt for attention. Homan made it clear, if Newsom really wanted to be arrested, he should break the law, not pretend. But Homan went further. He blamed Newsom for the chaos across California, riots, looting, fear, and pointed out that Newsom did nothing for 2 days. When Trump stepped in to restore order, Newsom complained about not being consulted. Too little, too late.
What happened with how this riot started is that ICE was serving a series of criminal warrants at a business being investigated for money laundering, customs fraud, and serious violations on sending money to criminal cartels that in Colombia and Mexico that fund criminal cartel activities in the United States. It's a part of an overall conspiracy that ICE is investigating. So we're arresting bad people. We were enforcing laws and following up on a serious criminal investigation on cartel financing. So that's exactly what ICE did. And ICE took a lot of bad people off the street that day. We arrested a sexual predator, arrested gang members, arrested somebody that had an armed robbery.
Tom Homan wasn't buying Gavin Newsom's act. He slammed Newsom for doing nothing to protect Californians, then complaining when others stepped in. That's not leadership. That's ego. And the truth. ICE wasn't rounding up innocent families like Newsom claimed. They were targeting dangerous, repeat offenders, criminals tied to international money laundering and violent cartels. These arrests weren't about paperwork. They were about public safety. But Newsom twisted the story, turning ICE agents into villains for media points. No mention of the real threats. Just emotional spin and political theater. Homan's blunt response exposed it all, and the public saw right through the noise.
What universities themselves can teach. He's targeting law firms and the judicial branch that are the foundations of an orderly and civil society. He's calling for a sitting governor to be arrested for no other reason than to, in his own words, for getting elected. And we all know this Saturday, he's ordering our American heroes, the United States military, and forcing them to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past. Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. I know many of you are feeling deep anxiety, stress, and fear. But I want you to know that you are the antidote to that fear and that anxiety. What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence to be complicit in this moment. Do not give in to him.
Instead of backing the law enforcement officers risking their lives, Gavin Newsom twisted the facts for headlines. He knew the truth, he had the briefings, but chose drama over honesty. Tom Homan called it out, exposing Newsom's posturing as pure political theater. Newsom's response? Another performance. Teary-eyed speeches, emotional spin, and a call for other governors to rise up against Trump. Not to lead, but to stay in the spotlight. It wasn't about truth. It was about optics. And people saw right through it.